Hey, good to see you again. The factory sent over the parts that were looking good on the rig. They're being fitted as we speak. Have a look at the report.
What is going on, guys? It is Tom and welcome back to a brand new video and a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for the finale of season 1 and the final episode of the first season in this brilliant career mode for the Force India. And very much been just drinking this one in. It's been a very good season and I've very much enjoyed it, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the ride also. And I can announce, and you'll see at the end of the video, that we will be signing a contract at the end of the episode. Who with? We'll have to wait and see. But the votes are in from the straw poll, so I now know where I'm going. But the decision is made at the end of the video. But right now we're kind of doing some R&D programs here with Force India to put some points away. And I'm going to announce, guys, for this video, I'll be doing a last to first challenge. So I won't be qualifying because literally there is nothing to fight for in both championships now. So literally it's just going to be a race to have a little bit of fun. Also in the race itself, there was a glitch with the grid. I don't know why, because it's the last to first, yet somehow I start the race from second place and the grid is all mixed up. So some weird glitch happened there. I don't know what happened, but you'll see in the race itself I do pull over to the side of the racetrack at the start of the race and basically go down to last place and then start making the overtakes. But yeah, I do apologise in advance for the little glitch there in that. But other than that, guys, this is going to be basically how this video is going to go down. So we're just going to basically run through the practice programs, which were fairly simple around here, and we're using basically the older engine components and older gearbox. And midway through the practice session, what made me want to do the last to first was, during this practice session, you won't see it in the video because it doesn't affect me, but I got a message on the radio saying that I'd lost one of the gears, and on one of the in laps I actually tested it, I'd lost second gear, so the gearbox was actually playing up on me. Luckily I don't use second gear at any point in a lap around here, not even at the slowest corner on the track. I keep it in third, so that's just my preference. So obviously when I found out the gearbox had issues, I thought, you know what, I've got to change the gearbox. And then because that's going to be in 5 places on the grid anyway, I thought, why not change the whole engine and do a last to first. So we end off the practice programs there, getting some pretty good points. And now we're going to get a new rival, because obviously in the last race we ended up losing our rivalry with Daniel Ricciardo. So we're going to get a new rival, and the question is, who is it going to be this time? So let's have a look, and it's Max Verstappen again. Are you kidding me? We didn't beat him before. Why are we going to beat him now? I don't understand. But either way, we have a new rival for season 2. It looks like, because obviously the rivalry ain't going to end right now. But we're going to move on to the engine tab. As you can see here, we're going to strap on a brand new engine and all new engine components. And at the end of the video, I will show you some of the R&D that we've done this season so far, and then I'll run through the R&D once again in the first episode of next season at Australia. But as you can see, we're just switching out the parts there, getting ready for the race. But other than that, guys, a massive thank you for the support on this series of season so far. It's been absolutely fantastic to see, and you guys have absolutely loved every single second of it, and I can't thank you guys enough. But we're now here for Abu Dhabi. It's round 20 of the season, the last race of the season, last of the first challenge. So have a little bit of fun here and try and have a good little race to try and end off the season. So without further ado, let's jump into it now for the last race of the season at Abu Dhabi for Sunday for the race. Right, so we're here for race day, and I'm on the front row of the grid. Now, I don't know what's happened. I've just come back into the game and I've seen I'm in second place. Somehow, with my 65 place grid penalty, I'm still good enough for second place, apparently. And without even doing a qualifying lap, I've managed to achieve my best qualifying of the season. So, what I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to pull over to the left-hand side and do a proper last to first. So I think that's going to be a plan of action. We're just going to pull over to the left hand side, let everyone go past, and then actually do a last to first. Felipe Massa is in first place on my right hand side. So I don't know what's happened. Some sort of glitch has happened here, and it's a very weird and mixed up grid. So we're going to start from second place in this race, but we're going to demote ourselves down to last. And in terms of the race strategy for this race, we are going to do what is recommended on screen. However, we're going to do it the other way around. So we're going to flip it, and we're going to start on the soft compound tyres, and then make our way onto ultras. However, I'm looking at a strategy. I'm thinking to myself, I might use super softs. So, just to play it safe. So I think that's going to be a strategy for the race here. We're going to overfuel a little bit, just to take it easy. And yeah, it should be a fun race. I'm looking forward to it. And let's just have a bit of fun. Nothing to play for, so let's just have a good little race here. I'm going to pull over to the left hand side, and we're going to do a last to first here at Abu Dhabi. So let's jump into it now for the final race of the season. Right, here we are on the grid. 5 red lights, but we're going to pull over to the right hand side and let everyone go past, because that's how our last to first works. So let's let everyone go by, and we'll get up to speed now and get on our way. So here comes Kvyat. Let's just let him get past, and there we go. We can now go racing here. We've got Raikkonen way down the order there, I can see, in P14 I think that was. But here we go through turn 2 into turn 3. Can we go around the outside of Kvyat here? We've got the pace. Have we got the speed? Yes, we have. Up the inside of a few cars here, possibly. Can we get Palmer? Not quite. Going to sit behind them for now. Side by side with Carlos Sainz. We're going to just go around the outside and then up the inside of a couple of cars at the hairpin here, up into 15th place. Battling side by side with Roman Grosjean here in the Haas car. We're going to just crank the engine up into rich mix and use our brand new power unit. Look at the speed difference there, and we power past Roman there, and we've now made the move up into 15th place, right behind now Kimi Raikkonen, who, ooh, that was very close, just going in very hot on the brakes. Then I've actually made a move by accident on Raikkonen. We're going to get squeezed down to the curb, which is not the best part of the track to be on, and Raikkonen holds on to P14, and now we've got Grosjean in our slipstream. But here we are, right behind Kimi Raikkonen. Could we go for a dive on the brakes here? We're going to have a look, but probably not the most sensible thing to do. So we're just going to sit behind Kimi now and start picking these guys off one by one, because we've got Saubers in the top 5. So we're going to have a constant train, I think, for a little while. So let's make this an enjoyable race and have a little bit of fun. Right, it's all kicking off up ahead. We've got Ricciardo having a really feisty battle with I think that's Kevin Magnussen. And now look at this, a straight line speed of the McLaren Honda of Fernando Alonso there. Pretty vulnerable in a straight line as we go out the inside of the Spanish. He's still on my outside, to be fair, defending quite nicely. I'm going to take the inside line though and squeeze him out. And look at this, Magnussen and Ricciardo going side by side here. Brilliant action around Abu Dhabi here. Raikkonen looking to pick up the scraps, obviously fighting for the championship. He's got to try and get past these guys. But here we go now into the hotel section. We've got another McLaren coming up in the form of Stoffel Van Dorn. So let's see what happens here, but we are pretty close to these guys. We've got some okay pace on these soft compound tyres, to be fair, but that's only because all these guys are in traffic and they're constantly costing each other time. But once the race sort of pans out and everyone eventually gets to their respective positions, I think we'll drop off the pace a little bit. But for now, we're doing a good job, and we're keeping up with these guys. So let's just make it a reality and try and keep up with these guys. Well, Van Dorn's going to be in serious trouble here, and I think he's been overtaken by literally everybody because of the DRS. So poor Van Dorn, who has got no chance in that McLaren Honda power unit, and he gets a horrible run through there, and I'm just going to pick up the tow, and this is going to be a very easy move on the McLaren driver. And look at the speed difference, oh my days. And there we go, up into P13 now, making slow but definite progress here. Okay, so do I dare go for the move on Raikkonen here, who's going very slowly. I'm going to have a look up the inside of the hairpin, a little bit of contact there, but let's get the traction and look at the speed difference, and look at the traction on the Multisofts that Kimi has still. It's just a big difference there. But now Magnussen is going to make the move on, looks like Pascal Wehrlein as the Sauber, obviously running on old 2016 Ferrari power there, as we're going to go up the inside of Kimi Raikkonen here as we get on the brakes up the inside of the chicane. But oh, there's contact, yellow flag, and I think that's a Williams. That's Lance Stroll's going for a spin, and we've got yellow end plate damage. So it's all just ticked off there in the space of a couple of seconds. And now Raikkonen's making the move, or trying to make the move on Pascal Wehrlein. We've got some front wing damage now, so we've got to nurse this now and hope the car doesn't feel too bad on these tyres. But if not, we can revert our strategy and just go into them supers a little bit earlier, because they do have a little bit of tyre life in them. So let's keep going here, but there should be a move on Pascal Wehrlein very soon, because he's not going particularly quick. Right, I've got a huge run on Pascal Wehrlein here. I've got a bit DRS. I'm going to pull to the inside. Can I get the German on the brakes into the chicane? A little bit of contact there, but we've made the move up the inside, and we're now up into P11. But I'm going to come in this lap for fresh compound super soft tyres, because the front wing damage is pretty bad and I'm struggling. So we're going to come in for super softs and then take it from there, and then probably go into another set of supers again later on this race, because that's the only way I'm going to make the strategy work. But right now I am struggling with this front wing damage, so I'm going to come in and put some fresh boots on and just get pushing and see what lap times I can do. Okay, here we go then, through the penultimate corner into the pit lane. I've selected my front wing so that it gets changed. So let's have a pretty solid pit entry here. Let's try and push it a little bit, see what we can do. And there we go, solid pit entry there And now let's see if we can have a successful front wing change, which will take a couple of seconds. So we're not going to be out the pit straight away here, and we're going to rejoin in last place. So right now it's both force cinders at the back of the pack, so that's going to be very interesting. But away we go, 9.1, and nothing spectacular for a front wing change pit stop there, but we're going to get in our way and have a little bit of fun on these tyres and see what our pace is like. Oh, VSC, how convenient. I couldn't have had that a few seconds ago. Oh well, that's not ideal. I wish it was a full safety car, because that would have brought me back into this race, but unfortunately it's just a VSC, and I believe it's a Pascal Wehrlein who's retired from the race, and that is indeed true as we just go past him. So there you go, officially confirmed. Okay, we've got a few cars in the pit lane, so the question is, have I done enough recovering time that I lost with the front wing change? And the answer is not a lot. I mean, I've got to pass Ocon, I'm going to get past a couple of cars in the form of Grosjean and Kvyat, but still could have been a lot better. But either way, we're going to rejoin just ahead of the Haas driver on ultra soft compound tyres, and I can now push. Okay, Grosjean is approaching with DRS wide open, and he pulls to the inside here. Is he going to make the move on the brakes? I'm going to go on the outside. I'm going to try and defend from him. Not that I'm really firing for any points here today, but I may be at the end of the race if my strategy plays out. I'm going to try and go into the ultra softs on the next stint, and I'm saving quite a bit of fuel actually by driving a standard mix around here. So if I can make a last attack in the last stint, that'd be pretty damn good for me, and it would mean that I'd have a lot of fun in that last stint. But here we go, around the outside of Grosjean, defending rather nicely here, and actually doing a good job of staying ahead of the Haas driver here. And we're behind another Haas driver who just came out of pit lane in the form of Kevin Magnussen. But right now in P16, sort of in no man's land, there is a train of cars up ahead, which I'm going to guess is being held up by either McLaren or a Sauber. So there's a few possible positions there to gain if we get close enough. So let's keep going here. The pace is still good on these tyres, so let's just try and keep going. Okay, so in the last few laps we had a few more people coming to the pit lane, so we're now up into 13th place. So we are recovering some positions. I don't know what strategy everybody's on, to be honest. There's different strategies all across the board. All I know is right now I'm able to keep Grosjean behind me, and there's a train of cars up ahead which has a lot of cars in it, and there is definitely a 5th place in there somewhere. So let's get going here, because we are catching this train of cars rather quickly. Okay, we've got a few more cars in the pit lane, which is going to give us a few more positions, and I believe promote us into the points. So there we go, up into P10 now. So making slow but definite progress here, and I'm very much looking forward to the final stint where I can put the ultra softs on and really just give it a go in this car with the fresh engine, fresh gearbox, and hopefully a little bit of rich mixture. Doing a good job of frustrating Grosjean and Kvyat behind me on the ultra soft tyres, just getting good exits out of all the slow traction zones, because I've still got a really nice bit of tyre life left in these still, and it's helping me to stay ahead of the Frenchman and the Russian. So really good driving so far on these tyres, and these super softs are actually driving rather nicely here and are a very good race tyre to be on. Oh, yellow flag behind, so I wonder if someone's going to go out the race, and it looks like someone has pulled over. The question is, who is it? It's Lance Stroll. So out of the final race of the season is the young Canadian. Will that trigger a safety car? Because if it does, I'm diving straight into the pit lane. I don't think it is though. So just a solid yellow flag, but no VSC or safety cars. So we're going to stay on these. I was hoping for a safety car, to be honest, because that's the only way I'm going to gain a few places this race. But right now we've got a few cars in the pit lane, so that's going to give us a few more positions here. Nico Hülkenberg and Sebastian Vettel in the pit lane. So there you go, look at that. How about that for a name? Onto these super soft tyres, and I'm going to rejoin just ahead of him as well. Meanwhile, Grosjean and Kvyat also pitting off of their ultra soft tyres, so not too bad here. Up into P8 this race, so making solid progress here at the moment. But Vettel's going to be wanting to get past me fairly quickly here in that Ferrari car, so I'm not going to make the move too hard for him. Actually, I'm running a bit deep there, so he's going to be on my inside. I don't want to affect the title battle, so I really don't want to take Vettel out here and ruin a championship fight between the two Ferrari cars. So here comes Seb. He's got DRS wide open. I'm going to short shift to 8th gear and let him have the move, because there is no point in fighting a Ferrari. So let's be realistic as... Nope, never mind. Vettel's locked up. So Vettel just... Yep. Cheers, mate. Nice brake check. Very nice. So that's not ideal. So I think I might pit this lap for ultra softs and get another front wing change. Right, through the promo corner into Lee Mix, now into the pit lane. Let's see what we can do. Vettel was absolutely on it, but into the pit lane now for the final time pretty much this season, hopefully. Very good P entry there, and we're going to be joining quite a lot of traffic, like behind quite a lot of cars, but I hope to have a lot of fun in this final stint, and hopefully if I can score a point by the end of it, then I'll be very happy. But here we go, we're now out of the points, and let's see where we finish this race. So where we go, 8.1 into lean, there we go, we're going to drop down to P16 and make that P17 very shortly, and yeah, let's have a little bit of fun this last stint and see what we can do. So let's get underway here. We're going to re-jump behind Van Dorn. So right now both four cylinders at the back of the pack. Ocon's had issues all race with his car, so we're back where we started, and it's now last to first pretty much, with pretty much 9 laps to go, so let's go. Okay, so let's make a move on Stoffel here. I'm not going to waste too much time, so let's try and get past him as soon as possible. I'm going to try and force him into a mistake, which he doesn't seem to be making at the moment, but I'm sure he will. Let's try and get a good run through here. Very, very close to the McLaren here. I'm just going to make him move up the inside. Fairly simple move. I've got the grip on these tyres. Squeeze him out, and there we go. Hopefully a few more cars pit. That'll give me a chance of scoring a few more points, but we're now in clean air. Let's push. A 140 flat. That is almost the fastest up of the race, so I've got some actual pace around here, which I'm quite impressed with, and I genuinely believe I'm not too far off the fastest up of the race. A 140 dead is there or thereabouts, so we've got leader pace around here right now, and we're catching up to a McLaren and a Sauber. So let's make a move on these guys, and let's try and make it very short, snappy and sweet as we got the inside of Alonso. Now let's try and get past Marcus Ericsson, squat on the power, wait for the DRS to become available, but I've got a feeling I wouldn't even need DRS anyway, because the brand new engine and the rich mix is helping me here. And look at the speed I've got on that 2016 Ferrari power unit. We're now up into 14th place, and Kvyat is up next. Alright, so right behind Carlos Sainz here. I believe he's got a little bit of issues with his car, so this should be a fairly straightforward overtake on the Spaniard. I'm just going to wait and probably get him into the hairpin whilst nabbing a little bit of DRS off of him in the process. So there we go, up the inside on the brakes, and thank you very much, that will do nicely. Squeeze him out, and there we go, and I'll also have DRS. There you go. So now let's try and chase after his teammate Daniel Kvyat, and then after that I don't know if we'll score points. There's a little bit of a gap, but I'll try my hardest. There's one more car I can see there, but after that I can't see 10th place. Okay, I'm literally pushing Kvyat through these corners here. I'm going to make the move on him very soon, and he's getting very slowly, even though he's on slightly better tyres than his teammate, and his car's actually at 100%. I've just got some incredible pace on these ultra softs here, and I think I'm just going to go for the dive here, just like on Van Dorn. I've got the confidence, I've got the grip, and I've got the pace, and I've got the straight line speed at the moment. I'm literally flying around this circuit, and our fuel is now into the negative, so we've got to keep an eye on that. But for now, I'm going to use it for one more lap and try and make inroads on Roman Grosjean, because we are catching a pack of 3 cars that I can see on the minimap, and those might be some definite points. So I smell blood at the moment, and I want to try and get points in this last race of the season. Okay, so if you look at the minimap, there are 4 cars ahead of me here, and they're all bunching up rather nicely. The issue is we are running out of laps, and I'm running out of tyres. My pace is dropping off, and obviously I'm not in rich mix anymore, I'm using standard, but I am slowly catching Grosjean. I'm just hoping that Grosjean's pace is good enough to make me catch up to all the cars in front of him, and hopefully we can have a little bit of interesting scrap in the closing embers of this Grand Prix and the closing stages of the F1 season. Okay, so these two having a battle is Grosjean and Julian Palmer from what I can see, and Grosjean's actually come out on top, so with pretty much a lap to go, Grosjean's made a critical move for a possible single world championship point, and I do smell blood, and I do want to make a move here. So I've got a little bit of rich mix saved up. This last lap I'm going to push and do everything I can to get that 1 point, but Grosjean does have a little bit of pace that I'm trying to match, and it's just a little bit too quick. I'm going to try my hardest right now, but it's going to be a real challenge to get a point here. Okay, out the hairpin now, behind Julian Palmer. Let's open up the DRS here, and can we make a move on the Brit here, down the back straight into the chicane. Hamilton wins the last race of the season. We've got a huge slipstream on Palmer here. I'm going to go up the inside on the brakes, a little bit hot into there, but I'm going to make the move and squeeze Palmer. He's on my outside. I'm going to pick up the traction here. Can I just beat him? There we go. Just out traction on the exit there, but now he's going to have DRS on me. Will he return the favour? We'll have to wait and see. I'm going to cover the inside and not let him make the move. He's going to try and go around the outside of me here with them old soft tyres. He's going to try and look for it, but no room through, and I'm going to hold on to 11th place. Grosjean's right there. Can I catch him? I don't know. The chances are slim. I'm going to give it a go, but I think it's going to be all she wrote for this season. I think I'm going to give it one last crack into this final sector, but I think I'm too far away. So Lewis Hamilton wins at Abu Dhabi by the look of it, and my teammate finishes last, which is a big result. I mean, he had issues all race long, but here we go through the penultimate corner now. Grosjean's up ahead. My only hope is that Grosjean had some sort of penalty or someone in front of the penalty, but either way, through the final corner, and that is the end of season 1 of career mode. And we come across for P11 after a couple of front wing changes, which definitely would have easily had me finishing the points if I could have avoided those front wing changes in hindsight, and also stuck to my one-stop strategy. But hey ho, it was a hectic race, and Raikkonen is the World Drivers' Championship a whole decade after he won his last World Championship. So there you go, the Iceman back on top here in Abu Dhabi. And Lewis Hamilton, like I said, wins it from Mercedes. So Mercedes end the season with on a high note, with a 1-2, I believe, as well, with Bottas in P2. So Mercedes managed to salvage a bit of pride, even though they got absolutely smashed by Ferrari this season, and they end the season off with a 1-2. So good for them. They're going to hopefully try and convert that sort of positive end to the season into a good result and a good car for next season. But as you can see, Raikkonen there in P3 rounds off with a podium for himself as the new World Drivers' Championship, new World Drivers' Champion. And there you go, Hamilton wins it, and that is the end of season 1 of Crimo, guys. And we're now going to jump into the final race results, drivers and constructor standings for the last time this season, and see how all the tables shaped up after that very weird and unique race. Right, and there we have it then. These are the final race results, with a 1-2 for Mercedes AMG Petronas, with Ferrari in a 3-4, then split by Massa before we get another Red Bull 6-7, and then Hulkenberg, Magnussen and Grosjean ran out the top 10. Myself just missing out on points there, with Palmer behind me, and then Daniel Kvyat behind him, and then looking further down the order, we've got Esteban Ocon there in P15, just behind Carlos Sainz of Alonso, Ericsson, Van Dorn, Stroll, and Verline rounding out the top 20. And finally, looking at the driver standings for the last time this season, it's a Ferrari 1-2, followed by Mercedes 2-3, with a Red Bull 5-6, and then a Force India 7-8. So 2x2 in the front pack there, of Raikkonen winning his second World Championship by 13 points over Sebastian Vettel. And then behind Ocon is Felipe Massa, and then Romain Grosjean just behind him there, 6 points behind, with Lance Stroll in his debut season in P11, with Carlos Sainz behind him and Kevin Magnussen in the other Haas car. After that, with Nico Hulkenberg in P14 ahead of Daniel Kvyat, with Jolyon Palmer down there in 7 points, and the last man to score points, as both McLarens and both Saubers didn't score any points in the entire season. And then finally looking at the constructors, you can see that Ferrari absolutely dominated the season, and Mercedes finishing second, with Red Bull running out the top 3, and Force India come home in a solid P4. So second, fourth place in a row in 2 years in a row for Force India, and I'm very proud of that result. Hopefully next year we can really crack into that top 3, and hopefully make some solid strides, with Williams in 5th, Haas in 6th, Toro Rosso in 7th place there, and Renault the last team to score points, and McLaren and Sauber not scoring a single point in the entire season. But that was Abu Dhabi, and we're now going to move into the ending cutscenes of this season 1 career mode. Okay, so as you can see, looking at the results points after that race, we've had a nice bonus added to our tally. So we've got 75 for the session, but we've got an end of season bonus, and that brings up our total to 2,500 there. So a very nice side amount to invest very nicely in some upgrades for next season. And I believe now we're going to have a chat with Emma possibly after we look at the final bit of R&D points. A few more there to add to the tally, so that's 2,600, so not too bad. And there you go. I confirm that we got some additional resource points, 1,843 to be exact. So that's a very nice chunk of points added. And as you can see, looking at driver rivalry after that race, Verstappen absolutely dominated us all weekend. Also, obviously, because I decided not to qualify, that we obviously lost down a lot of points there. And finally, as you can see, looking at our rating within the team, losing interest from pretty much everybody except Toro Rosso, McLaren and Sauber. But that doesn't really matter, because I believe we're going to have a little chat with Emma once we look at our career score, which is going to add up to 143,000. And now, I believe Emma has some news for us.
Hey, quick question. How are you here? Are you happy? I mean, obviously, I hope so, but you do have some other options if you're up for a new challenge. Let me just grab the door. I had a call from another team a few weeks ago. And, well, things have moved on since then. These are the offers I've managed to put together for you. You don't have to do anything with them, but let me know what you think.
Okay, so we've got a few tasty offers on the table here and some very interesting ones. We can stay as first driver for Force India, and we have got the option to move to Red Bull and also Renault and Toro Rosso, which are the teams that have shown the most interest in me. Renault was the one I wanted to go to. That was my choice. That's what I want to go to. However, by a majority, you guys want me to stay with Force India, and the second most popular decision was to stay with Red Bull. So what we're going to do is we're going to sign on a dotted line, and we're going to continue on with Sahara Force India and try and push them into being one of the top teams in Formula 1. So let's sign the contract. And as you can see, it is now official, and that is the end of the season, guys, for season 1. As you can see there, it is all over and done with. And what we're going to do is, before we end off the video, we are going to buy upgrades for next season and prepare ourselves for Australia. So let's jump straight into it here and let's see what we're going to get. So we're going to get one last aero upgrade. We're going to get this one here just to try and sort of cap off that line of upgrades. So we're going to go for that one there. And then in terms of the chassis, which is the next part we're going to focus our development on, we're going to go for the first upgrade here, I think. And can we get any of these possibly? No, we're not there yet. Just a little bit too expensive. We've got this. What's this? Department of Quality Control. Further enhancement of the quality. So, it would help. It would help the chances of failing, maybe improving slightly. But we're gonna actually go for, I think, a durability one. The durability one is going to be a much needed one, and I think we're going to go for a gearbox. I think we're going to try and keep the gearbox in good state, or either the ICE. Let's have a look. Do I go for the ICE? Where's the ICE? Let's try and find it. Alright, yeah, I think I'll go for the ICE. I'm going to go for the ICE now, and then I'll get the gearbox later on. So, there you go. There's the upgrades, and those should be arriving for the first race of the season, for Season 2 in Australia. But that is going to be the end of Season 1, guys. And if you guys have enjoyed this episode, then smash the like button. Let's try and smash 500 likes for the finale. And if you're new on here, why not subscribe to my channel if you're new? And also, why not check out these videos on screen, guys, if you have missed them. And also, there's a link to the playlist for the entire season down below in the description if you have missed any of the episodes. But other than that, guys, we're going to take a small break. So tomorrow, there won't be any career mode. There will be my Q&A for 10,000 subscribers. And then the day after that, Season 2 of career mode will begin. And also, the editing will be hopefully upped a little bit in terms of quality. So I hope you guys do look forward to that one. But overall on that, guys, that is the end of Season 1 of career mode, and I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.